everybody out there in podcast land. I'm Suzanne, and this is episode number 247 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is December 10th, 2025. And due to crazy holiday schedules and illness, my scheduled guest, Becky, was not able to do the Zoom call for the podcast. So stepping in is my brother, Johnny, in Georgia. No announcements today, so let's go straight into the conversation.
Welcome back, everybody. I have a very, very special guest with us today, one who was a little reserved about coming on this podcast, but I think we're going to be okay. So we have my little brother who goes by John out in the world, but he'll always be Johnny to me.
That's me.
There you go. How are you doing today, Johnny?
I am doing great.
Okay, so I wanted to do something a little different for my listeners. It's the holidays, make it a little different, make it more fun. I wanted my people to meet my brother.
Thank you so much.
Here you are. So let's start off with us as kids and stuff like that. So we are 2 of 4 children. Our older sister, Jenny, is number 1. I'm number 2. You're number 3. And our youngest is Trina, who is the baby. So we are in the middle. What year were you born again?
68.
So we're a year and a half apart.
In May 31st. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you and I hung out since we were in the middle. We remember a lot of the same things.
I feel like you and I are the closest in like relationship. Even though Jenny and I are a year and a half apart, you and I kind of bond better. Don't you think?
Yeah. Do you want me to introduce you?
No, they know me. But I'm sure you're going to talk about me. So
I am talking about you because that's part of getting to know me. So Suzanne was really adamant about doing my homework when I was younger.
Not really.
Yeah,
No,
right.
that was Mom saying, Suzanne, you need to help Johnny with his homework, because Suzanne was a really good student, and we didn't know at the time that you had some learning disabilities, and it just didn't come to you the same as it came to me. So our parents got divorced when I was 13. You were what, 11?
Yeah.
And our mom went to work, and so we were 80s kids. We just had to figure it out.
MTV, all the good stuff. And
we were latchkey kids. We came home from school and let ourselves in and got a snack, and I did the laundry. And you, as we got older, you had activities, you and Trina, that I drove you to, and all of that. I saw something on Reels the other day about that 10 o'clock thing at night where the celebrities are like,
yeah,
because our parents, they didn't. We'd be out in the street playing kick the can or whatever. They didn't know.
Crawling through sewer pipes, playing in the creek with your Barbies.
And yeah, getting under the sewer, going through those under the street.
World.
And we saw the most giant spiders down there, yet we still would go back for more. And
yeah,
it was just, yeah. And just no bicycle helmets, no. I think Trina had a sort of a crappy, rickety car seat, but it wasn't for safety. It was just for something for her to sit in.
Well, we had a lot of fun. Riding down the driveway, on the big wheel into the street without looking for traffic. That's one of them that was really safe.
Oh, yeah. And you and Michael Caine trying to be Evel Knievel and setting up that ramp with the bricks and the board.
Ramps was like 5 or 6.
And like he did I was watching y'all, and he did this complete flip on his bike and fell on his head. I think he had to go to the hospital, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, and you were what, like 8, 10? I don't know. Y'all weren't teenagers yet.
No, you did torment me a good bit, like rolling me down the stairs in a cardboard box.
No, you misunderstand. We were playing Six Flags.
That was
a ride. And so I put you in a box and pushed you down the stairs.
So for y'all that don't know, you may know, Suzanne is very academically, high school, she got academics, college, she got good academics, and she was a gymnast on a high level. She excelled in everything that she did. I was thinking this morning, I can't ever imagine you working I remember when you worked for Wachovia, but I can't remember you ever working into a business, working for somebody else ever again, because you've always been a step ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, it's because I don't take direction very well. I got to be deciding
Okay.
what I'm doing.
That's
So no,
okay.
I did work going all the way back. I started teaching gymnastics after I injured my knee and couldn't do it anymore. So I taught the little kids. And then I worked at Kroger grocery store, and I was a bagger because everyone started as a bagger. And then they're like, oh, well, we have an opening in the seafood department, and it paid a lot more than bagging. And
I
I'm like,
remember the smell. I do.
yeah, I'm sure. And uh, and I did that for I don't know 6 months, and because it paid more. It was hard. You had to set up the case and break down the case, and I made the clam chowder for the customers to sample, and I got on the loudspeaker and oh, we've got salmon steaks for this much, and
That's
all
when they
that.
have the live lobsters, right?
Yes, and we had
Yeah,
live
yeah.
lobsters, and that was a great experience because I learned how to fillet and steak salmons and do all kinds of different things. But it was a stinky job, that's for sure. I would come home and wash in tomato juice and like
Oh,
get the smell off. Thank you for remembering that. Okay, so
okay.
then after that, I did temp work with Kelly Services and like receptionist and secretary as I was going to Georgia State at night. And then started working for banks. Yeah.
So where was it that you went to the World's Fair?
Oh, that was 1982 in Knoxville. Our gymnastics team went there and
Okay.
did like for 3 days, we did 3 performances a day. It was an exhibition. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that was a big deal. I was a little young, but I remember that.
Yeah,
And
that was a big deal.
actually had a balance beam in our backyard.
Yep.
Yep. And yep.
Yeah. But we were the typical 80s kids. I remember you and the neighbor down the street blowing up your army men with firecrackers.
We did that. And do you remember those turtle sandboxes? I think they still make them.
With the lid. Uh-huh.
Yep. Yep. A friend and I would take that, and we must have been really small because we would take that, sit in it, and float out on the lake with it.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. And that was pretty dumb, but it worked.
You duct taped this neighbor kid to a tree one time.
Look, we were always testing our limits, and what was big at that time was $6 million Man, the Incredible Hulk, all those that exemplified strength, and I don't know, just a bunch of weird things boys did back in the 80s,
Yeah, superhero stuff.
70s, 70s. That would have been mid 70s.
But superheroes is what you were doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, but that was the 80s and we just played outside. You'd come home from school and get a snack and go outside and play with your friends.
Yep.
Or when we were older and I was driving, I would come home from school and take a nap. Unbeknownst to me, you were driving around the neighborhood in my car. And you were like, what, 13?
I
14?
I would. At first, it was just going up and down the driveway, and it kind of worked like a go-kart, I thought. So,
It was a car.
but to live in a neighborhood, drive around the block, and think that, oh, no neighbors won't see me. Nobody called the house. Yeah, but I felt like that was a
Well,
little
because that was the 80s. All the parents, all the moms were inside day drinking, or they were too busy covering up what they were doing. They weren't worried about us, you know? Yeah. And then we had those houses that were built behind us where some farmland was sold and they started building houses. And you and your friends would go back there and find like the construction workers' wallets, and you'd find all this stuff.
Oh, well, we remember we would go pick up cans and take them to Treasury Drug. I mean bottles,
Yeah.
and buy candy with it. And well, probably a lot of people our age did
So
that.
that's what you were doing, was picking up cans and bottles to get money for it, and you just happened to find
Yeah,
other stuff.
yeah,
I was too busy doing my homework and being studious. I didn't do that.
yeah. We'd feed the horses sugar cubes in the backyard. Which yeah, it's now a subdivision.
Right.
Jump out of the hayloft into the hay. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it was a good ride your bikes 5 or 6 miles from the house without telling your parents and just hanging out at
Just
the bowling
anywhere.
alley
Yeah.
or
Just
I mean,
anywhere.
y'all just be back before dark. So
Yeah. And we'd cross the busy roads, and there was that produce guy that would come up at the corner of North Peachtree and Tilly Mill. And it was just a guy with a big truck, and he'd sell produce off of it. And so our mom would send all four of us up there together.
that's right.
I think she just wanted to get rid of us for a while. And we, get tomatoes and corn and okra and cucumbers. And that was some pretty good produce, I remember.
Yeah, and come back and we would shut corn in the garage.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And that was a family. That was actually a family thing we did.
Yeah, I remember that. And then we get all itchy.
Dad was there, and yeah, so it's a family. You know what? We did a lot as families when we were young.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I was going to mention, was we grew up in a big family, 4 kids and the parents for most of it. Um, and I think we were one of the biggest families we knew.
Yeah, our parents were good at keeping us busy. We all were on swim team. We'd ride our bikes to the pool for practice, and then Jenny was on the diving team. Our oldest sister was on the diving team. I'm not sure when you got into gymnastics, but did you
Well,
swim?
I did swim team, and I did not like it. I was not fast.
Gotcha.
And well, I mean, that wasn't my thing. And then I was like, well, I want to try diving. And because I was taking gymnastics at the same time, and those two kind of went together. I won a bunch of stuff in the diving competitions. But they never made Trina do swim team. They didn't make her.
Hmm.
She just stood on the deck and would go to the concession stand and just eat hot dogs and drink Coke and watch us. And I thought that was so unfair. Why do I have to do this? I don't want to.
Well, let me tell you, those hot dogs were good.
I
Um,
know.
I loved collecting my swim ribbons and hanging them from my shelf,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and that gave you a lot of pride. But back then, they didn't give you. Not everybody got a trophy back then. Remember?
Well, that's right. And there are no goggles and no swim caps. You just go
That's right.
freestyle. You just jump in and go, and your eyes are burning because you're opening your eyes underwater. Yeah, and we didn't have like one parent brings the snacks for practice. No, you just came after school, or in the summer, it was early in the morning, and just did your practice. And we didn't, we weren't bubble wrapped children, so to speak. We just had
No,
to.
I remember after the winter and our first swim practice at 7 in the morning, that water was freezing. You would lose your breath
Yes.
just but after the first few laps, and you're like, why do I have to do this? But and back then all the pools were outside. Now they have all these aquatic centers with heated pools and
You wanted to be at home in the kitchen with your feet on the counter, watching the tiny TV and eating
right,
fruity pebbles.
right and Oreos and
Everything that wasn't nailed down.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that
I hear
was.
you.
And we didn't see each other a whole lot, but you know what? Suzanne reminded me today. We talk frequently now, but Suzanne was in and out. She was downstairs in the basement studying. She was at gymnastics. And the only time I'd see her was when she was just walking by. And so that was a joke. So that's a joke now. It says, I never see you. I only see you when you're walking by.
I only see you for like 1 minute when you're walking by.
I was very serious.
I know you were. And
joke.
I was very serious one time when you were watching TV, and I don't even know what the argument was. Maybe you ate the last cookie or something. I don't know. And you made me so mad. And I had just got home from school. I had on my jeans and my Mia wooden clogs. and you smarted off or something. And I took that clog off my foot and I threw it across the room, and miraculously it hit you in the head. I've
In
never
the
hit
back of the
anything
head.
in my life. I'm a terrible thrower, but somehow I hit your head.
And back then we sat like 2 feet from the TV, and with your feet up on the TV, changing the channels with your toes. She threw that like 20 feet, hit me in the back of the head, and I just felt my whole head ring.
And
But
you just
that's
couldn't
been
believe that I hit you.
no, but I think I sassed you, and so then I kind of learned a little bit of respect that day.
A little, yeah. Well, have you had a clog thrown at your head since then?
No,
Okay, well then you did learn and you moved on.
I did.
So
Thank you
there
for
was
that.
that. And then, so yeah, my bedroom was in the basement because we had an unfinished basement, and our older sister came up with the idea of like having a room down there. And okay, so we would all get our own room because I was sharing with Trina, the sloppy pig at the time. She was just such a slob to live with. I hated it because I'm very meticulous and orderly and just drove me crazy.
You are,
So,
and you're super full of it.
anyway, Jenny moved down there, and they may have made her room an office or something. I didn't get my own room. She spent the night down there one night, and she was creeped out. I think she saw a spider, or she just didn't like the vibe down there. And I'm like, I'll do it. I'll take it. I'll sleep in the tent in the backyard, just have my own room. So I moved down there. I loved it. It was nobody would come down there. I had privacy. And then you got the drum set. Where are we going to put the drum set for Johnny? Oh, let's put it right next to Suzanne's room. Suzanne, the studious one who's doing her homework and stuff.
I can't believe it. You slept through that, and I played my Journey and my Van Halen and my Kiss, and back then you didn't have a headphone, so I had my
No.
boom box was cranked up loud, trying to
Mhm.
play over the mute with the music,
Mhm.
and yeah, I can't believe how tolerant you were. You must have had some.
Well, and I didn't have, I had a Walkman with a cassette player, but I don't like to listen to music when I'm doing my homework. I like it silent. So I guess I just put up with it. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, that was hilarious. That
You had tremendous focus. You had
so
focus.
so you mentioned the band Kiss. You were obsessed with Kiss, and you got to go to a concert, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to the Omni in Atlanta. That was my first concert.
Who's we?
Oh, I'm sorry. My neighbor, and we cut out all this confetti with hole punchers. A bag of confetti. And I remember Dad took us, I guess I was 7 or something, 8.
Oh, to a
And
concert when you're that
Dad,
little?
Dad took me to the concert, and it was so smoky. And he told me after the fact, when I was older, that yeah, everybody was smoking marijuana around us, and he had
Uh-huh.
such a bad headache afterward. And
Ah.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just cigarette smoke, but
Well, how would you know?
I know. So that was my first concert. My dad always remembered it as being that was something else. That's what he would
Well,
say.
and he took Jenny to see Ted Nugent when she was
That's
like
right.
13. I did not get to go to a concert. I got to go to the World's Fair and do gymnastics. Yeah, he took her to see Ted Nugent. I'm like, oh my Lord, that is not going to be good because Ted Nugent is pretty rough back then.
Yeah. I also went back with Jenny to see Ted Nugent again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But were y'all grown?
I sure did. Teenager.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep. And then we were leaving the concert, and Jenny had y'all might remember the Celica 2-door
Yep. Remember the Celica? Mhm.
sunroof. She was working at a salon, and she was paying, she bought that car. And as soon as we were leaving the concert parking lot, I said, Jenny, let's see how fast your car can go. Well, she stepped on it for like, I guess, I don't know, about 100 feet. And a cop pulled her over. And we were both in the back. My friend and I were in the back, and she had to walk to the back of the police car. And you shouldn't be doing this with minors in the car. And so, yeah, that's something that we laugh about. Like, yeah, I can't believe you told me to do that. So
I can't believe she just listened to you. You're the little
I
kid.
know she was showing off.
Yeah.
Big for showing off, you know.
Well, and then she really put you in your place on that beach trip when because yeah, after our parents got divorced, our dad would take us like on a beach trip in the summer.
Yeah, like Gulf
And
Shore.
it was like the very lowest accommodations you can imagine. It's like one step above a military barracks. They were not great.
But
They were not Airbnbs back then, folks. Let me tell you. It was usually like Gulf Shores, Alabama, because he grew up in Mobile, and that's where he
yeah,
liked to go. And we go to Apalachicola and eat seafood and all that. And so on the way back, you and Jenny were fighting in the back seat, and she's like, stop it, Johnny, stop it. If you don't stop it, I'm gonna put this gum in your hair." And you did not stop it. And she put the gum in your hair.
she did. So
And we
what we
have
pulled over?
pictures. We okay,
Yeah.
you tell it. Go ahead.
No, so what we pulled over to a Hardee's,
We pulled over to something.
something like that, and Dad had his pocket knife. He says, "I'll get it out." And he cut my hair, and I had a big bald spot back
We
there.
have pictures of this,
Yeah,
of him sawing out a chunk of hair with gum in it. And it was just, he's like, you learned some respect for Jenny on that day. We learned
yeah,
that when she says it, she means it. She's gonna do it.
that's right. Big sisters have, bigger sisters have power. They'll prove
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, growing up with three sisters could not have been easy.
You know, yeah, I know. And you don't. I don't even remember. You said that you used to do my laundry and do my ironing and do my laundry and
Okay, that was more like when we were, yeah, that was when we were teenagers
yeah,
because mom was like, I need you to get the laundry going before I get home. And so I was,
yeah.
13, 14. It was not a problem. And I just did everybody's laundry. And but you can go back to the part where you're talking about all the great things about me if you want.
Oh, I'm done. No, I'm just kidding.
Helping you with your homework.
No, so yeah, I can't believe I'm not doing eBay because um I did do eBay for a while, like 9 years ago.
Hmm.
And I was selling things and I was making some money. And but when I met my wife Kim about 12 years ago, she was into antiquing and she had a couple antique booths. So for me to attract her, I had all the tools in the garage, so I went and got a bunch of pallets and I started making things and I bought a dresser, redid it to kind of impress her, and that became something that we did together.
Hmm.
So she no longer has her antique booths. I'm sure she would love to have them back, but she's really busy now. Yeah, I always admired how you got started doing eBay, selling
Well, and
books.
your life was just busy and with work and your real job. And so you're born in 68. How old are you now?
I'm 57.
So, retirement's coming. And that's another reason I wanted to have you on was because you're another one of those people that sees the value of reselling in your retirement, and wants to get it going and get it set up so that when you do make the jump, you've got something going. And Johnny has exceptional woodworking skills. Not only is he a musician, piano, guitar, drums. What else do you play?
And you dabble in things like
Anything he picks up, he can play pretty
photography is
much.
really good.
Because I sucked at that. I could not do it. And you started making dulcimers, which
Yeah,
is kind of like a Renaissance type guitar instrument.
they're
Um,
um they're considered on the professional market. Martin would make a backpack guitar. It's a three-string guitar, and for those of you that know music, and it's tuned differently. But yeah, I made those guitars. I don't know if you have that picture of me or not, but
yeah, that's gonna be on there. Uh-huh.
okay. So um, if you're a woodworker out there and I was gonna do it as a challenge or to make some extra money, but I enjoyed doing it so much that I started to give them away because what I would do is I would go to Lowe's and I'd buy a stair tread, which was 36 inches long. I'd rip it with my saw. I would make four guitar stocks, so I can make four guitars out of a stair tread. And I only used four tools to make those guitars. So I used a table saw, a chop saw, a drill press, and a belt sander that I turned upside down to be my sander. So I learned that on my own. And so yeah, like I said, I sold 2 of them, but I started giving them away because I put so much into them. And so after that, we started thrifting a little bit more and trying to resell things. Um, I moved up to the North Georgia mountains near Tallulah Falls. We have a great Goodwill. Down a lot of the things that go to that are in the Goodwills in Atlanta that don't sell what they have, like they mark them down what, 3 times or something like
Mhm.
that.
I don't,
It all,
it keeps changing. I don't know.
but it all comes up to where I live, and they sort through it and they bale all the clothing and they send it overseas to other countries. But we have a lot of great picks down there, and one big Goodwill in our county, and mainly the rest of the places are thrifting stores because we have a lot of private schools, and these stores provide for the
Oh, they're
private
just
schools.
like independent, like the Humane Society or something like that.
Yeah, like Habitat for Humanity.
Uh-huh.
We have a Catholic school; they have their own store. We have a church
Gotcha.
that has their own store. So there's a lot of different places to pick things from. We don't have a lot of garage sales because it's a mountainous area, so there's really no subdivisions. It's just
Right.
mountain mountain roads, and nobody has a garage up here.
Hmm.
So, um, but yeah, so we have a lot of unique finds up here.
Okay, so you said pallets a little bit ago. You
Yeah,
have to tell the story about the lady with the pallets. What job were you doing and what was this all about?
when I worked for a trucking company, I would deliver to these stores where you bid on the returns.
Right,
You
like
should bid
pallets,
on
like store
stuff.
returns. Yeah.
I would deliver them, and close to where I live, retail space is scarce. So half of the post office was leased out to a lady where she could have a thrift store. So I delivered her a pallet of goods from Target, I think, and I always mention you when I run into somebody that's doing eBay in the garage, what have you. And she goes, "No way, Suzanne's your sister?" And it was like, I was like, okay, so I guess my sister's famous. So I started to pay attention a little bit more about to what you're doing because you have a lot of videos. What 270
Oh,
something?
podcast I'm on. This will be number 248. I have almost 1,000 videos on YouTube. And then I have
Wow.
my school where I have 650 lessons. But what I wanted you to get to about delivering this pallet was that it wouldn't fit.
Yeah. Though. Yeah. So we had to take it all apart and pull it all in the door, and so she could set it up. But she's got a great little store. It's not that big. It's like 20 by 20,
Really?
20 feet by 20. Yeah. But she has a big storeroom. So storefronts aren't uncommon like that up where we are.
No, no. I've had several people on this podcast that have their own thrift store. They just decided to start one because they could get stuff so cheap. And yeah, but I just cracked up when you told me that story and you're like, oh, and we couldn't even get the pallet in the door. We had to break it all down and take it in a
Break it
little
all
bit at a
down.
time.
Is that something common with eBay that people bid on pallets and have
Yeah,
it delivered?
yeah, a lot of people do that. Store returns is a big one, like Costco, and now it's Amazon returns because
Yeah.
Amazon, it does not go back to Amazon. It's not cost effective for them to ship it back. It just when I was living in Greenville, I learned this that your returns don't go back to Amazon. They go to an Amazon return center that then sends the stuff to these places called bin time or something with a bin, and they just dump all the store returns, the Amazon returns in these bins and go for it. But yeah, that's been a thing. I think that kind of started maybe 2010 where people really started getting into that when they're selling on both eBay and Amazon, because at the time you could only sell brand new stuff on Amazon or books or media, that kind of thing. But
Your eBay sellers are doing a great service to our communities by not throwing things away. They're actually just, it's just like recycling,
Yeah. Hmm.
you know,
Keeping
and
stuff out of the landfill. Yeah, absolutely. And
mark on it.
I love, that's one thing I'm really passionate about is the cycle. So like, okay, somebody passes away, their stuff gets donated to Goodwill. I come along, find it, I market it, put it out there, somebody buys it, they enjoy it for a while, and then they're going to die one day, and then it's going to go somewhere else, and
Yeah.
it just keeps getting passed around. But like the other day, I sold a bundle of cashmere sweaters. All of them were not perfect. They had holes in them, like a lot of moth holes that it was be too much of a pain to fix them. So I think I paid a couple dollars for each one. I put them together in a bundle and sold it as a craft supply. We call them
Mhm.
cashmere cutters because people cut them apart and make scarves and hats and all kinds of
Okay.
things.
Yeah.
And they sold for $40 in one day. And I did not make a ton of money on that sale, but I provided a craft supply for someone. I kept some things out of the landfill, and cashmere is a luxury fabric. It's not cheap. So I love that part of it is just we get to be in that cycle of giving goods a second, third, I don't know, 50th life, whatever it
Mhm.
is. That's to me, and then helping people learn about how to do this business because it's so empowering to be able to make money from home. Like it's a real thing. It's not telemarketing. It's not, all these scammy things that are out there. It's real. So that's me being passionate.
Well, the and I mentioned to you this before, but it's hard. We had at a church where we once lived, there was a quilting club and a knitting club, and it was more successful than I thought. So that when I go to Goodwill and I see I've sold quilts and things like that, when you go and you see, how much time it takes to invest your time, and somebody that you loved has made it, or they would have not have liked to see it go in the trash. So I picked up 10 of them one time, super cheap for $5 a piece, and somebody spent a lot of time on those.
Oh yeah.
So that's yeah, I've sold many of those, and that's something that people overlook. Especially this generation, they don't think about the time it took for somebody with their hands to make it.
Yeah, and
And
handmade stuff sells very well. It depends on what it is, of course, and how intricate it is, but that's something that the average person on the street doesn't realize. Well, why would somebody want this wedding announcement that's cross stitch and has the date of
right,
my wedding? Well, they take it apart and take that off and put something else on there, make it for another person, or just take the
mhm.
date off and use it themselves or whatever. The
And what I
hand,
think is fascinating is those pictures that you find, the old pictures from the 20s and 30s and 40s.
uh-huh.
We've picked up a stack of postcards. There's like 300 postcards up in a mountain thrift store, and we've resold those. My wife Kim sold those in her antique store. People love
Mhm.
to sit down and just read through them, like love letters and
Right.
things
Well,
like
and
that.
what I learned is that people take those and letters and any of that old, it's called ephemera, paper stuff,
So,
and they make journals. They'll get a booklet and they'll put it in there. So it's like telling a story through
yeah,
time or whatever they're interested in. They cut the things apart and put them in these journals. And you can Google ephemera journal and see what I'm talking about. And
okay.
that's, anything old paper could be valuable. You just have to look it up and see. Anyway, I wanted to talk about with your life history that you went into the Marine Corps
Hmm.
in was it 89?
Well,
Okay.
I graduated boot camp in August of '88, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that was something I always wanted to do. We grew up, our generation grew up watching Vietnam movies and the black and whites and things like that. And I remember I always wanted to be prepared if there was ever a draft. I don't want to be a newbie. So, but
Right.
went through boot camp, which was great. Really enjoyed
No,
it.
it wasn't great. It was very hard.
It was hard, but let me tell you, if you're a wrestler out there, um, wrestling practice was harder than boot camp.
Okay, yeah, you did say that. So
Telling you.
we both did a lot of sports in school.
Yeah.
So you did football and
Okay,
wrestling.
so yeah, I played football and I wrestled. Um, then yeah, I played football.
Did you run track?
No, I didn't run track. Um,
Because
got
usually the football coaches want you running track to be in shape in the off season.
my senior year, I did not play football. I decided to work, which my coach told me, I wish you wouldn't do that. Well, it's funny. I saw my coach 5 years ago, and I was able to thank him. I said, "Thank you. You were right. I shouldn't have gone to work. I should have played my last year of football at high school." But after that, I've had several jobs. I've done
But you had that sleek, sexy Cutlass car that you wanted to put the stereo in it, and you had to have these rim covers, and that's where all your money went, was into that car.
yeah, working at Winn-Dixie. Yeah, that was what we
Working at
did.
Winn-Dixie, breaking open dog food bags so you could bring home the dog food.
Unloading trucks, buying dented can. Yeah, so I didn't know. I was married early, had kids early. Realized that when I had kids that you can't make it's hard to make a living. So I went to go driving a truck, which was a local job. I've done that for almost 30 years on and off. I was a manager at Target, lived in Hilton Head, a lot of different things. So
You had a real estate license for a little while.
yep, I sold real
You
estate.
tried a lot of things. Yeah.
Sold real estate during the day and stock shelves at a grocery store at night to keep insurance. So
Mhm.
when you have a family young, you try to make it work. So, but I learned a lot of skills. So now life is good.
Well, you learned, so you were in, I think, Camp Lejeune.
Can't believe
And
you.
so you were there for a little while, and me and my husband at the time were in Charlotte. And I think it was your first Thanksgiving away from home. And
Oh
we're
yeah,
like, why don't you just come over, come on over here? Because it wasn't, what, 2 or 3 hours?
rode the bus. Good
I
grief.
know you took the bus out of Fayetteville,
Station.
and I want to thank you for that, because it was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We went down to the Charlotte bus station, which I'd never even been in a bus station like that. I was just mortified. There's just like, homeless people and people in boxes, like in their cardboard box, drunk. And that bus station was packed. And it was kind of scary for my little sheltered self. And your bus was like 6 hours late.
Oh, I did
Remember
not
that?
even remember
It
that. Yeah.
came in, it was like we just wanted to lay down and go to sleep on that nasty bus station floor, but we didn't dare. Yeah, we waited and waited, and you finally got there, and I was like, oh, that place is horrible. So we go back to our place. We did Thanksgiving. I think Trina might have come too. She wasn't living in Charlotte yet, because she moved there in like 90. And
You're
so
gonna talk
then
about my sandwich that I
I'm
made,
going to talk
right?
about your eating. So that's all you did when you came over to visit, was
I
you
was
just
hungry.
ate everything in sight. And we
Sure
lived
did.
right next door to an A&P. So you
That's
just
what
kept
we did.
walking over there and getting stuff. So one thing you made was the peanut butter and marshmallow cream sandwich, and you poured syrup all over it. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yep.
Ah,
I remember that, and I had a sweet tooth. That was crazy. But then again, we got all those Krispy Kreme donuts.
that was my next thing to tell.
Ate them all,
Yeah, you and William
like
went to
24
the
or something.
Krispy Kreme and got a dozen. I don't even think they had them in the stores yet. I think it was just you had to go to a Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
So, and it was Krispy Kreme was founded in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So we're right in the homeland of that.
Okay.
And y'all came back with that. And I had been doing something, working on my cross stitch sewing. So I was like, I'm gonna go take a nap. I came back out a couple hours later, and y'all were watching football, and you were just slumped over on the couch, like drooling, like in a sugar coma, because y'all ate that
Yeah.
entire box of donuts in
Yeah,
a
we
very.
hammered down on that one.
You did
Yep.
what?
We hammered down on that one. Our
You
dad told us
did.
if
You
the hot
did.
light is on, you need to stop.
Yes, that was well, because Krispy Kreme was founded the same year Dad was born, 1937. That's why he knew all about it. And,
Okay.
the same year that the Hindenburg crashed and like all the events of that year. So I just
I'm
will never.
still learning
And I
things.
was like, Johnny, do they not feed you there? He's like, yeah, but it's terrible.
It is terrible.
It's just mushy, whatever, it's not good.
Carbohydrate. Yeah.
So yeah, we had a big joke about that. Okay.
Good times.
Yeah, good
But
times. And
I can't eat Krispy Kreme now, though. It's
I can't either.
my
It's just
heart.
too much.
Woo.
I don't even know if they make them the same. Everything tastes different now. I don't think Dairy Queen ice cream is the same. It
It's
tastes,
probably the fructose corn syrup they use.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah. So yeah, that was hilarious. Now, one year when I was thick into eBay stuff, I think you turned 40 and I bought you all these vintage toys for your birthday.
Yeah, that was cool.
So do you remember what those were? Do you still
Yeah,
play with them?
bought me a Evil Knievel, which I used to play with.
Yeah, the wind up thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, $6 Million Man lunchbox with thermos.
Right.
You got me. What else did you give me?
I got you the Fisher Price bus.
Yes.
And so then what you did at 40 years old, you set up the bus so that Evil Knievel could jump over it. It was in your kitchen, and you're like, look, we can use these two together.
Yeah. They had the best toys back then. All the superheroes, all the Batman and Robin and the Superman. I wish I need to start looking for those. Those are really cool. Like the Batmobile that would shoot the little darts out of the back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, if you want any GI Joes, I can hook you up with one of my previous guests, Paula, who was talking about she recently got remarried, and her current husband, he was a widower, and so he had a house full of stuff, and she had just tubs and tubs of GI Joes.
See, that's what I remember. The GI Joe that had the little lever in the back of his head, his eyes would move. You could move the lever.
Oh,
That was great. I enjoyed climbing trees and hanging him from rope, and I'm like he's climbing the tree. And y'all might remember the $6 Million Man that had the bionic eye you could look through. It was like a magnifier. And the arm,
I
yeah,
don't.
the skin on the arm would roll up and it would have electronics in it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Roll it back down. I mean, those are some great.
Well, and GI Joe was cool. He had that beard, and
yeah,
we used to. I don't know if you were there with us out on the deck. We would play Barbies, and we'd use your GI Joes because we just thought Ken was a little.
I remember
he
that.
was not our vibe. We like GI Joe better. Yeah.
But what a great opportunity we had to, at that age, to use our imagination and go out in the woods and go out in the sandbox and go out in the dirt and play. It's just too bad that
do,
kids
do you remember that time we went out in the woods with rakes and we raked it all? We're talking about half an acre probably.
Yeah.
And it was hilly, so it was fun to ride the big wheel down through the woods. But we raked up all the leaves to make it like a track. And then Dad comes out there. He's like, "What did you guys do to the leaves?" And we're like, "We made a track." And he's like, "No, put those back." And we had to put it all back.
I don't remember that. I don't
Yes.
remember
that. And then we would take when we were little and just moved into that house in Dunwoody, we played in the sandbox a lot, out sort of near the woods. And one day we took their fine sterling silver that they got for their wedding. It was Gorham Chantilly. That's the pattern. It was sterling. We took it out there and played in the sandbox with it.
But it's the only thing that had the same size as a shovel.
But it was any good because I don't even think we had plastic stuff, and we just were digging with sticks. And somebody had the idea, let's go get some stuff in the kitchen. So, and then of course, Mom was horrified. That's my fine silver. You children, bring that back up here. And yeah, that's why we became children of the 80s who didn't tell our parents what we were doing.
Right.
We say, oh, we were we were behind the so-and-so's house playing with matches in the woods. Like, we're not going to tell anybody that.
Yeah, I remember that time that we were, I think there was a swim meet, and I was behind the pool in the woods, and friends and I were making a fire back there, and there was all this smoke blowing over to the swim match.
Oh, they didn't know what it was from.
They didn't know where it was from, and then somebody came out there and saw that it was us. I mean, when you were a kid, making fires in the woods, that was fun. You
That's just part of growing up.
yeah, cook things, and yeah, science.
Catch things on fire.
It's science. It just really is.
Good cover story, but I'm not buying it. Not
Oh,
buying that. Okay, and
yeah.
so yeah, we were talking about all the great toys from the 80s. You had Dapper Dan, the one where you would, do the clothes. The clothes were attached to him, but you would practice tying and zipping and buttoning and all that.
That was
And
before the GI Joe. Everybody.
right,
So
that was when he was little.
I'll
And then
play with
Trina
Dulcimer.
had Dressy Bessie, which was the girl version of that.
Yeah,
Those are quite collectible now if they're in good condition. I had Mrs. Beasley,
I do remember that.
and I don't know what. Well, I know what happened to her because I went off to college and Mom sold all my stuff. I came
Okay.
back to visit, like I came back for a weekend and I wanted to ride my bike around the neighborhood, out there in that Hidden Bluff place.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where's my bike?" And she's like, "Oh, I sold that to a neighbor." I'm like, "What? I love riding my bike. Why did you do that?" And like all my treasures from childhood, she had a garage sale and just sold them. And
Yeah. When you move, I tell you, you got to decide what to hold on to. You
but we
remember?
were not raised with going to garage sales and going to thrift stores. We did the every fall clothes from J.C. Penney, although you always got new stuff because you were the only boy.
Well, there
I
was the
I did
Gap.
not. I got hand-me-downs from not only Jenny but her friends. And some of them were like 4 sizes bigger than me, and it was not pretty, but it was free.
I didn't
So
know that.
yes, yeah, I got all her hand-me-downs, and I just hated that because they didn't fit. And then Trina got new stuff because by the time everything got to her, it was worn out. So she got new stuff. But we'd go to J.C. Penney or Sears shopping for school clothes. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we would do it all in one day, all four of us. So I mean, I always got new shoes for school because your feet are bigger. Yeah, and I saw another reel that made me laugh. That was all these kids dressed in like 70s clothing with striped pants and a polka dot shirt and a camo jacket or something. And it says, in the 80s, we didn't care what we wore. We didn't care if it matched. And apparently neither did our parents. Because they're the ones taking the
Yeah.
pictures of all these kids dressed in nothing that matches.
I mean, it was a big thing to wear camo pants to work, camo pants to school, camo pants, boots, members only jacket.
Oh, members only. That's right.
Yeah, you still see.
Adidas was big. Yep. Yeah, I wish we had saved some of that. And did you have any concert t-shirts?
Know it. No, I don't. I wore mine out.
That's what I meant. You had them back in the day.
I did. I would buy them at the because I worked. I would buy them at the concert.
Mm-hmm.
So
Those
when
are very collectible. You didn't know that till I told you, but
they were like what
uh,
$7 back then, and
I know it was nothing.
now they're like 50 and 60.
Oh, when you go to the concert.
Now, yeah,
Yeah, but some of them like Metallica, that's the one that comes to mind. Or any of those 80s bands, Motley Crue, and what was the one that Twisted Sister and all
yeah,
these crazy bands. And a lot of them aren't together anymore, obviously. A lot of them are, and boy, they look like they're 120, but they lived a hard life in the 80s with all that hair and all those drugs.
yeah, and all that smoking indoors, and you know, used to could smoke it in McDonald's.
I'm pretty sure we poked a hole in the ozone layer from all the hairspray we used in the 80s.
Yep.
Aquanet, Final Net, Adorn, all that stuff that we had the big hair. Three sisters with big hair must have been a lot for you.
Yeah, it was a lot. Nobody. No, we had a good time.
Yeah,
And
we did.
so what sells now? Do y'all still like sell the old easy bake ovens and
Um, you,
find old
yeah, you just
things?
have to look it up and see what's selling. The thrift stores, Goodwill, have gotten smarter about what they put online. So
Oh,
I agree that people aren't finding what they used to find in the thrift stores because of Goodwill online. They pull it. I think they go through the stuff like with magnets, and that's how they identify what is like sterling silver or gold.
wow.
Things that won't stick to a magnet are going to be your fine metals. And so, because I personally never see any sterling, but other people have found it. So I don't know what the process is. And maybe somebody listening to this could inform me, or be great if we could get somebody who worked at a Goodwill to come on this podcast incognito and, muffle their voice so it's not recognizable, and like get all the inside scoop on that. Like,
That would be good. I found 6 little sterling silver goblets, and I've sold them since. But
did you sell them to be
yeah,
melted down or online?
no, I sold it to a person that buys gold and silver.
Okay, yeah, that's what a lot of people do with it.
And what I didn't realize is that a lot of the silver, the knives have concrete in them, like the ones back from the
Right.
20s
Mhm.
and 30s. They weigh it up, and you're thinking you got 20 pounds of silver, but then they're saying, well, we're only paying you for 12 pounds. Well, because there's concrete in the knives. That's what
Mhm.
they used back then, and then a little steel shank.
What is your regular job now?
I still drive a truck 15 days a month, but then my wife and I work at a nearby vineyard, which is fun, up here in the mountains.
So
So
you're the handyman at the vineyard, and anything else they need a fill-in guy for, like making charcuterie plates and working in the kitchen, or you just do whatever, right?
yeah, pouring wine and doing the whole gamut. So and now we have weddings coming up, so it's gonna getting pretty busy. So yep, I'll be doing that full time, hopefully at some point.
And what's the
And
name of the vineyard? Do you want to share that?
yeah, it's Tiger Mountain Vineyard in Tiger, Georgia, just north Georgia.
So
Beautiful.
Kim, would she start waiting tables there or something? Or she
No,
didn't.
she was just working, learning the wine, and then actually, when you go to a winery, you want to know what the wine is, where it comes from, and so she's educated about the wine and serves people the wine, and she's in, you know, the wine sales portion of it, selling to different
So
stores.
Kim's background is she's very high up in the Pampered Chef organization,
23 years,
and
Stanford, yeah.
she does a lot of that, and she had her antique booths for a while, and now this kind of just fell in her lap, and they're like, well, we'd love to have you work here and do be a buyer for the wines or whatever, how that happened. It just
Yep.
kind of fell out of the sky, and then oh, we need somebody to help us build these cabins, houses for our guest events, where it's like a wedding and they have all these different houses. I call them cabins, but I know they're bigger.
They
Um,
call them villas, but yeah, they needed some
okay.
help. I would go
Yeah,
in there
and you're like, well, I'll do it. And that's us. That's you and me. We're like the entrepreneur. Well, I'll do
yep.
it. So they hire you as an independent contractor to hang ceiling fans and finish out the bathroom and do
Like
all
a punch list
this
type thing.
work. You're like the all-purpose guy that does all kind of things, and I think that's great. That I mean, you're kind of like not together when you're working at the same time, are you?
Sometimes we are when there are
Okay.
big parties. Yes, we are. So it's I never thought I would be serving, but I am, and I enjoy it because people are from
Mm-hmm.
all over the country,
Oh, that's
and I
great.
really enjoy talking to them and sharing what I know about the wine.
And it's a
But
beautiful
yeah,
place.
it is. Yeah, we didn't plan on moving up here. We were going to move up here 10 years from now, but it just came early, and it just feels like retirement almost. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I would like to get back into selling some things on eBay and find me a little niche. But I enjoy listening to your podcast, so I can kind of get some ideas. Because it's fascinating how different how many different avenues people go and what they sell, and um, some of them, like I was listening to one of your, what was it, Craig from?
Yeah, Craig in
Yep.
Missouri.
I mean, he has a thrift. He has some booths at some thrift stores, right?
I think they have antique booths like at the antique malls. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of that
Yeah.
up here.
Well, there's, when you're into reselling, which we're going to get Kim, your wife, on here to talk about this, but you try every platform. You try Facebook Marketplace, and if you're doing clothes, you do Poshmark and eBay and Amazon, and she did the antique booth, and she's got a lot of insight on what works and what doesn't work, or at least for her.
Yeah, she does.
Because did she ever sell anything online, or was it just the booth?
No, just the booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some things are just, you're not going to ship them. So you put them in the booth. But yeah, she says, when I asked you to come on, she's like, I and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't turn anybody down.
Yeah, my problem is that when I buy something, it's usually something I like and I keep it, and I ended up not wanting to sell it. Like I have a lot of these old lights. You know the yellow pendant lights back in the
Yes.
70s that would hang
Yes.
from
Uh-huh.
the chain.
Mm-hmm.
I bought several of those, and I love those, so I keep those. But I know that would sell pretty good. But
Well, maybe I need to come over, and when you're taking a nap, I will get those pendant lights and put them in my car.
maybe not.
And just have turnabout as fair play on the taking a nap thing. As people are like, I don't want
Yeah,
Suzanne coming to my house because she's going to see what I got. She's going to want to sell it.
that's right. Yeah, do need to come up, and we need to go thrifting, and there's check out our Goodwill store. It's really
Oh,
great.
absolutely. Let's wait for spring where we don't have to worry about ice and cold and all that stuff. Anyway, well, we didn't talk much about reselling, but that kind of wasn't the point of this. It was the point of my audience meeting you, my little brother. You'll
Thank
always be
you.
my little brother.
It's
And I
about
think,
family.
based on the all the tragedies in our family over the last 2 years, the four of us have gotten closer because like we're like the final four of the family. This
Right.
is it. This is it. You get busy raising kids and living your life and working and moving, and you got to work on relationships. They don't just happen.
Yeah, and make the effort, especially this time of year, make the effort to go and be with family if you can. Yeah, because you take it for granted.
And
Um,
talk to your people before they are sick and dying, because
right.
I wish Dad had told us a lot of the things he told us there at the end earlier in life. I think it would have explained a lot of things. And people hold grudges because this happened, but you misunderstood the situation and all that kind of stuff. And he told some funny stories, and I'm glad that Jenny, she either recorded them or wrote them down. Yeah, she wrote them down and put them in that book.
Yeah, she was very diligent about
Yeah,
making
and we
stories.
learned we didn't learn a lot of these things because he didn't want us knowing them, how poor he was growing up and all that stuff. And it explained a lot, you know, and then he got to where he couldn't speak, and then he wasn't conscious, and that window closes and you can't get it back. Just like I
Yeah.
wished I had talked more with Mima, our maternal grandmother, about her life. She was born in 1908, and what she saw in her lifetime is unbelievable. Cars and highways and aviation and technology and modern conveniences, and just imagine being in that generation where when you were born is like vastly different than when you're old. I would love to have a voice recording of her telling some of these stories.
Well, it's like selling on eBay. Your sellers, they relish the past. They like stories of products. So I've learned in the past, I guess, 4 years. I had a neighbor that was 91 and he was passing away, and I would go sit with him all the time in this driveway. But learn to ask questions like, what was your favorite food growing up? What was your favorite toy? What was your favorite pastime? When's the first time you ever went fishing, and who was it with? they just love talking about it and the history. The things that you learn and things you may come across at Goodwill or online that tell a story. But I did that with Dad before he passed away. I asked him all those things: his favorite food, and
Was it Vienna sausages?
I don't remember, but I wrote it down. But his favorite food as a child, well, he said that he would just take to school. He would take a sweet potato, and that was his lunch for the day.
Yeah.
So things like that is like, wow. So what a great thing to teach your grandkids.
Remember that fishing trip we went on at St. Simon's Island, and we got up at, remember Mr. Neff went?
Oh, were you on that trip?
Yeah, it was you and me and this friend of our dad's, and we got up at, it was before the sun came up, got on a boat, went out fishing, and 10 o'clock in the morning, he pulls out the cooler and it's got like sardines and Vienna sausage and just like I wouldn't eat that if I wasn't seasick. I'm definitely not eating that now.
But that's what you ate when you were back then.
Do what?
That's what you used to eat back then.
I didn't really like it, but yeah.
And
then we went out to eat seafood, and he taught us how to eat, raw oysters and with the Tabasco and the cracker. And I love raw oysters.
Oh,
and
I love
I don't really run into a lot of people that just love them. I do.
Oh, well, good. We have a great oyster bar up here.
Oh.
Yeah. So every Wednesday they have special like dollar oysters. So yeah, get your hot sauce ready. And
yeah, we'll do it.
Yep.
Sign me up. If there's food involved, you're more likely to get me there.
Okay. There's a lot of food up here.
I know. Okay, Johnny. Well, what are you up to for the rest of the afternoon? Chopping wood and hunting, or what?
Well, I kind of realized up here, since I haven't lived in the mountains, that I had this roof line in the back, and it's 50 foot, and I put a gutter on it. And now I know why the people that lived here never had a gutter on it, because it's 30 foot in the air. And so I cleaned out the gutters in the front, and then the rest of the day, I will wait for my wife to get home and make some dinner. And
you were going to say, I'll wait for my wife to get home and let her clean out the gutter.
Let her clean out the gutter.
No.
I don't have anything planned. I might even listen to another one of your podcasts.
Well, you've got, would you listen to 2 of them? So you've got 246 to go.
Okay. Well, I do drive a good bit, so I have plenty of time.
Yeah, you can listen to them in your truck. There you go.
It's neat. Okay. It's really neat.
Well, thanks for coming on and meeting my audience and sharing some funny stories, because that's what I wanted this to be. Like, I'm a real person just like you. I have siblings. I have family.
Well,
here's our dynamic. It's a lot of laughing and being sarcastic. So
it's fun, and I love your new place. Hope you enjoy it there.
Yeah, got it all decorated, and it's very festive. So this Christmas is going to be a lot better than last year. We were running back and forth to the hospital and hospice, and it was just not a good time. So we're all making an effort to make up for it this year.
Right. Enjoy family.
Okay. Well, go enjoy your day and take a nap, whatever you feel.
That's not that may happen.
Good. That's not completely out of the question. Good.
Out of the question.
Well, you're home alone on a Saturday. Do it.
That's right. Well, thank you for including me in this. That was so nice of you.
Well, thank you for agreeing to do it. And we'll check in again another time in the future. And if the listeners like this kind of thing, it wasn't super educational, but it wasn't supposed to be. So
it's just something to listen to when you're driving to go out of town.
Yeah, it's something like, it's not like the news is so depressing or people are so negative. I'm not doing any of that. So we're going to keep it light and happy.
Good.
Okay. Well, have a good rest of your day. Love you.
I love you too. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Next week, my guest is Kelsey, who recently posted the fabulous silver vintage Christmas tree that sold for $1,500. She's had some outstanding sales lately, so we will check in with her. Thank you all for supporting this podcast, and let me know if you liked this format, more candid and casual than normal. I hope you have a prosperous and productive week on eBay and enjoy the holiday season. Bye for now.